darkness, my old friend. Hello.
Hell yeah! All week long.
All rise is right. Bang that gavel and say hi to not Colty this time. It's actually Sale.
Oh, sail away, sail
Wants
away,
to
sail
hang
away.
out. All right, welcome to We Got a Case. Sorry, a little bit late because we ran a little bit late on Voyeur, so we got to be.
We had a couple things we want to put together for you real quick. Yeah, Zoom Court Creed. I particularly wanted to watch some of this. This guy's a processor. He serves, warrants and things on people. Different things. But it wasn't just that. His name stood out to me. This is Mr. Tony Hightower. Don't know if he's related to Piss Cup Hightower, but with the name like Hightower, anything can happen, Creed.
He is sitting in a vehicle, no less. So, anyways.
So
here in a few. No, not playing games, please.
No.
Say hi to everybody. There you go. Say hi right there. Oh yeah. Anyways, we'll jump around a little bit to different courts. Stop, Salem. No. And I've also got something. No freeze frames today. Yeah, certainly. We've got an update for you over at the Honorable J. Cedric Simpson Court on Stephanie.
Yeah, if you were with us on Friday, I believe it was. Was it Friday or Monday?
I don't know if it's Friday or Monday.
Maybe Monday. Monday, I think. He was telling her, hey, stay right there on camera. I just want to make sure you're okay the whole time. And, don't worry. They'll come get you tomorrow.
Yeah.
When really they were coming for right then. So if you didn't see that video, go back and watch that. It's really easy to pick out the one with the guy with the ski mask on the front.
Right.
So,
yeah. It looked like SWAT, more like a narcotics unit.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got a good update about that, and we'll do that in a few minutes. Let's jump in and see what this is all about with Mr. Hightower. Maybe no relation.
What their names are and this and the other for my affidavit. So the purpose of this reason right here, courts.
Let me pose this question to you. Is there a particular reason why you don't ask people for identification to substantiate what you're doing?
It's not that we don't ask. No, it's not that we don't ask. Sometimes we ask. Most people
don't you have to sneak up on people to give it to them? Like, you've been served.
Yeah, hey, we watched videos of that one guy sneaking up to the house, knocking on the door, remember?
So most times you try to serve people and everything or whatever. You just hoping they telling you the truth and being honest about their situation and what have you, who they are. There are times I do ask.
How dare you call me Uncle Ben?
There are times that I do ask.
What's the distinction between the times you ask and when you don't ask?
Hearsay, sir?
Based on the person, if I can tell they're lying or if they're trying to, be not want to accept the paperwork or what have you, and this and that and the other and everything. Like sometimes I go and knock on somebody's door.
Excuse me for just a moment. I wanted you to see this person picking at their nails or whatnot. They've been doing it for a while here. It's very weird.
Judge has Mikey hair. I like that.
Something like that.
So you do have a practice of doing that from time to time.
From time to time, if I feel that they're being, lying or trying to, not tell me the truth.
Okay, and when
I wouldn't think you could do that.
Why do you think we're asking him so many questions?
That's what I'm curious about. Are they trying to say he didn't serve to somebody?
Her, she said no. Is that what you said?
When I asked her name, she just shook her head and kind of laughed. And then I said, I just need it for my paperwork purposes, to verify who I gave it to. And that's when she gave me her name.
You didn't ask. When did you ask her if she lived there?
Your Honor, asked answered many times. Objection.
When did you ask her if she lived there?
Hang on. I will overrule the objection. Go ahead, answer the question. This is the last time.
When I first got there and I knocked on the door, I asked, was the defendant there? She said he wasn't there at the time. I said, do you live here? I need to leave this paperwork for him. She shook her head and said, yes. I gave her the paperwork. Then I asked her name. She refused her name, laughed. And then I asked again, explaining why I needed her name. Then she gave me her name. And I left the paperwork and went on about my way.
I don't think I have any further questions. I do have some redirect from my client, for my witness, I'm sorry.
What's up, Rosie Palm?
All right, hang on one moment. Ms. Frank, do you have any redirect from Mr. Hightower?
Just one or two questions, Your
Judge is
Honor.
bored to hell.
Mr. Hightower, when you saw Ms. Lowe, she appeared to be just a harmless old lady, isn't she?
Yes.
So that might have been, is that one of the reasons why you didn't feel the need to perhaps ask her for identification? You didn't think this harmless old lady was lying to you, right?
Yeah, she wasn't looking at acting as if she was being, refusing and this and that and the other and everything.
Figure the fake
That's her name.
And she didn't seem to be making your life particularly difficult at that moment, correct?
Not at all.
And just to clarify, you asked her if she lived there, correct?
I did.
And she said yes,
Yeah,
correct?
so I'm guessing they're trying to
Okay,
go after
yes.
him and say that they
Thank
were.
you. That's all I
That
have.
he didn't process the paper to
Yeah.
the person. The person
Miss,
didn't know.
Bowden, I mean, Miss Lowe.
Yes.
Miss Lowe.
Oh my
Did
gosh.
Mr. Hightower ask you if you lived there?
No, and he did not knock on the door when he came, because when he pulled up, I was already at the door and I went out the door. He did not knock on the door.
Okay.
I went out the
Mic
door.
drop situation, she
Okay.
thinks there.
Did he ask?
Away.
Did he ask you to see identification?
No,
Okay.
She's
Do
spicy.
you have identification?
yes,
Okay. Do you have it on you now?
yes.
They're talking to this
Does it-
guy
does
who's a
it-
process
Tell the
server.
court what identification you have.
And I believe they're trying
Got
to
a
say they
driver's
weren't
license.
served properly to get it thrown
Can
out.
you pull your driver's license out, please?
Yes, let me-
Can you whip it out for me, ma'am?
We're on Zoom. I don't know.
I understand, Your Honor, but I'm going to send the court a copy of what she said, what's on her driver's license.
Your Honor, I'm gonna object to that.
What is
Because
this
you haven't
pandering?
submitted it previously and I haven't seen it and it's not in evidence before. And there's no indication that she had that on her at the time that the process server served the papers on her.
Your Honor, if
And I
we
can't see it now.
bottom of this matter,
Response to the objection, Mr. Russian.
Your Honor, the objection is without merit. It
I'll
doesn't.
be the one to determine that. Why do you?
I think it's without merit.
I'm the
because,
judge.
If the process server has a tendency to ask for identification from some people and not from other people, it doesn't have a study methodology about how he processes these matters.
Saying that he doesn't do his job
So,
right.
And had he asked Ms. Lowe for her identification, he would have seen that she didn't live there.
Well, I will just say this. I'm going to sustain the objection, and it's for this reason.
Yeah.
She's already testified numerous times that she did not live there. What identification she has on her person today, it is not probative as to what she had on her person at the day of service. And furthermore,
The ID could be
because
7 years old.
people don't always update
Do you
their
have to
address
have
on their
ID if
license
you're giving
anyway.
it to the
So just
person
because
you
a person
know
has a
that
certain
you're
address in their identification does not mean that they're resident. She said that she was not a
Dallas, Dallas?
resident, and we'll go from there.
He should have asked
So
her
no
for a
need to show
cable
her
bill.
identification, especially since we're on live on Zoom. I don't want her driver's license number getting
You got
out
that
and
light bill? Let me see
being
it.
a victim of identity fraud. Okay. So let's just
He's
move forward.
processing for
All
chumba.
right, Your Honor, I think that this matter is.
I thought you
in a
said we're
situation
fake
where
stars.
Hang
we
on
are-
Thank you,
one
Carol,
moment.
for
Hang
the
on.
200.
Miss Frank, did you have any further questions for Miss Lowe that was called as a rebuttal witness?
Yes, Your Honor, I do actually.
Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Ms. Lowe, you testified earlier that
She
Mr.
gonna come in
Bowden,
hot.
asked you to give the affidavit in this matter. Is that correct?
Yes,
And dropped one in a
Mr.
bag.
Bowden, you also testified earlier is your employer. Isn't that also correct?
Yes,
So your livelihood depends on Mr. Bowden, isn't that correct?
no,
Does Mr.
Is
Bowden
there
pay
an
you?
objection? Hang on.
There is
Mr.
an
Russell?
objection, Your Honor.
Okay, what's the objection?
It's getting
I
messy.
don't see the relevance of whether she's employed by Mr. Bowden or not.
I
That's-
do, because that's exactly what I was thinking about this entire time. If
Oh,
she was
shit.
in fact employed by him, then that would may, I have to look at the case law, an agency relationship.
Well, people do that a
Your
lot
Honor,
though.
that's-
Brittany. They try
that's-
to
I've looked
give
at it,
out,
but I don't see.
like how
Well,
this
I'm gonna
guy's
be the
got
one
his
to determine
emails
it.
out.
So if
I understand, Your Honor. I
if
understand. I understand.
council wants to explore that, then I'll, I think that's relevant as to whether or not this service is valid or not.
He needs to back.
And I think, Your Honor, it also goes to credibility. It goes to the credibility of her affidavit in the first place, and it goes to the credibility of her reasoning in appearing in this matter in the first place, and the possibility of why she may have had a reason to have misrepresented herself at the time of service in the first place. For the benefit
I've
of-
overruled the objection. You can proceed with the question. Go ahead.
So, Ms. Lowe, you receive income from Mr. Bowden, is that correct?
whenever I sit with his mother and do for his mother.
So is that a yes?
I love
No,
every
his
sentence she
mother
has said.
pays me.
His mother.
So do you receive cash or a check?
Why? I get,
Miss Lowe, I understand that this is kind of
Just say
aggravating
why.
to you right now. I understand that. It's very obvious, okay? But I'm gonna have to ask you to be cooperative and not ask the attorney any questions. Okay, she is the one that's asking the questions. So just please answer the questions to the best of your
I think
ability.
in his mind,
We'll
he
hopefully
was.
get done with this and you can go on with the rest of your day.
She shot that down
Okay.
real quick.
okay.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think so too.
You're
Hey,
correct.
Rob.
I need
Good
to
to see
see
you, Rob.
Miss Lowe.
Yeah, she's out of
Okay,
focus.
she's the one that's testifying and she's going out of focus. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Ms. Lowe, I'm trying to get to the bottom. Is Mr. Bowden your employer?
I work for his mother.
You want to ask and answer.
Mr. Rushing.
His mother pays me.
Oh, judge just said.
Okay. The court
Uh-huh.
will acknowledge that at first the witness has said that Mr. Bowden was her employer, because that's what I wrote down. And then she said that
Got him.
his mother pays her.
Yes.
Mr.
Okay.
Russian, you're an asshole. So you
So
know.
ahead.
does Ms. Bowden, does Mr. Bowden's mother live with Mr. Bowden and Mrs. Bowden?
Yes.
Okay, so all three of them live together in the same house.
Yes.
And that house is located at 5010 Butner Road, Atlanta, Georgia. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I think we finally have some clarification here. Your
How
Honor.
old is the other lady that this lady's taking
Okay,
care of her? Good Lord.
And Mr. Bowden asked you to do this affidavit,
Butner?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor.
and did Mr. Bowden pay you anything at all ever for
There was
any?
an objection made. What's your
Oh,
objection,
I
Mr.
didn't hear
Rushing?
it.
I'm
She
sorry.
already answered that question 4 times.
Oh,
She answered the question on the initial question, that the question that you asked her, you recalled her as a rebuttal witness, and so therefore she is subject to cross-examination. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I forgot my question at this point.
I know, me too.
Does Mr. Bowden ever pay you for anything?
I think that might be the house.
It's a nice house.
5010 Butner Road in Atlanta.
That's it. Yeah. Nice. Butner's got money, sons.
now.
I'm sorry, I
I'm
didn't.
with her now.
Well, you're with her now.
Yes.
Thank you, Arg.
She's wearing Adidas and she's at their house right now yelling.
And have you ever done any work for Ms. Bowden sitting next to you?
No.
Oh, she like my mom. My mom says something like that and then turn her
Right,
head
Your
too.
Honor, I have no further questions.
She's
All right,
hostile.
I have some questions. I have some questions for Ms. Lowe first.
I like that, obviously.
Ms. Lowe, where is Mr. Bowden right now?
She's
Hi.
over in her room.
Okay, I don't know why he's not on the Zoom call, Mr. Rushing. I don't know why I see I see his name here, but I don't see him. And Miss Lowe has been looking off screen very often throughout this entire thing, as though she's looking at someone else. So is Miss Bowden in the room with you all at this point?
She's right. Miss Bowden, she's right.
No, Mr. Bowden.
He's not
Deron
the defendant.
Bowden.
This is my best
No.
Mr. Bowden
John
off
Bowden
camera.
is a woman.
This is Mr.
Oh, I'm
Bowden.
sorry. Okay.
He's her husband. Harry Bowden is her husband.
That makes a huge difference. Okay.
Mr. Bowden's over there.
Huge difference.
I'm Deron Bowden.
Okay, well, that makes sense why you're sitting there. I apologize. Okay.
Sorry, Your Honor, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I thought I could clarify.
No, I appreciate that. I needed that because I was very confused about
Yeah,
that.
Harry Bowden is her husband, and he used to be, or still is, a Fulton County Magistrate Court judge.
Flexing.
Okay.
Okay. So we're right.
We
Money.
saw earlier someone had logged in under Judge Bowden, and we didn't really understand that. So that makes sense.
You only would call him Bowden,
Okay.
but his name is Bowden.
Okay, Bowden, I apologize. I
Oh,
apologize.
correcting the judge on pronunciation.
Here, Judge, I'll do it for you.
All right. So, Ms. Lowe,
Wow.
I just need to clarify some questions because I'm a bit confused about some things that we learned. Sir.
Everybody's mad.
Oh, yeah.
She's right here.
Oh,
Are you okay, ma'am?
yes.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just sucking
Hopefully
on
we'll be
this.
In just a moment. Now, you
Figure that
testified
or something.
She's so mad.
that you sit with Mr. Bowden's mother.
Yes.
Why do you sit with her?
Again.
And I'll tell you why I want to know this, Mr. Rushing, in case you're like, Judge, why is that relevant? Because she's indicated that this lady pays her. So I'm trying to figure out
What's she
why
paying
does
her
she have
for?
to sit with her? I don't understand a lot about this. It doesn't make sense to me. So why do you have to sit with her?
Because she's 91 years old and a lot of stuff she cannot do for herself.
Okay.
And I have to give her food, clean her room,
And I'm 81 and I can do it
stuff
all.
like that.
Okay.
Cole, hell yeah,
And
9
so
months.
Thank you,
said
Cole,
that
for
you
being
were
here that
employed
long.
by Mr. Bowden,
I'm employed
but
by,
that his mother pays you. I don't understand that dynamic.
I'm employed by her. She pays me,
Who is her?
Miss Bowden.
Right here, but sitting beside you, this person?
Not her, his mother.
Gotcha.
The 91-year-old, she got all the money.
Yes. Why is she so mad?
She's pissed.
Okay.
Both of the
Yeah, I was very
lawyers are mad.
confused. See, that's why I need to ask questions sometimes, because I didn't even know this was the defendant. I was so confused. I thought this was a gentleman. Okay. All right. I think that clears up
Maybe
the questions that I had.
So
Mr.
that
Rush,
lady,
you have any questions based
is who was
upon the
supposed to get
questions that I've asked
served.
Ms. Love?
Mhm.
I have
she
no
lives
question.
there, and her husband is
Ms.
a
Frank,
judge.
do you have any
Mhm.
questions based upon the questions that I've asked Ms. Love?
Okay.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Okay.
Mm.
I did see that Snoop
trying
Dogg's
to see,
blunt roller got a
Understand
raise.
Mr. Hightower's testimony. I
That's in
believe
the
I do.
news.
Okay.
Nancy, this
All
is
right.
so
I don't. The
confusing.
court doesn't have any further
That
questions.
she just went through
I'll
that
find
whole
that
thing and
the
cleared it
evidence
up
is
at the end.
closed.
I
Mr.
don't know why we
Rushing,
didn't do
you
that in the
have
beginning.
the right to open and conclude your argument. Do you wish to exercise both or reserve concluding argument? And
The
let Ms.
latter, Your Honor. I'll reserve.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Frank, with your argument.
Well, Your Honor, I pointed out in my brief that the defendant has a pattern of attempting to evade and avoid service in a multiplicity of lawsuits and judgments that have been filed against her. And this is just the last in a long line of matters that she's done this in, and she only attempts to do it when the chickens come home to roost, so to speak, and people try to collect the judgments against her. Basically,
Chickens are coming.
with respect to this matter, she used to, this whole thing started because she ran a court reporting agency in a building that my client owned. And as her husband or ex-husband or now husband again, I'm not sure of the relationship, is a Fulton County Magistrate Court judge, she knows enough to know what the effect of
That we
lying
haven't heard
to a
yet.
process server would be, and then attempt to vacate the judgment later based on that lie. And that's where we go to argue against the credibility of the affidavit. The reason we cited to all the matters that we did in our brief in opposition to the motion to vacate is because that they had filed the motion without any evidence to back up the motion to vacate. We filed our response 10 days after they filed their motion. They filed their motion on April 11th, 2022. We filed our response on April 21st, 2022.
See you tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Then they filed an affidavit of Ms. Lowe on May 17th of 2022, but yet it's dated March 29th of 2022, which makes no sense to me. I don't understand why it's dated March 29th when they didn't file it with their motion. It's dated before their motion's even filed. They didn't
I like that
file
her
it,
husband
and then it's
is a
labeled
judge,
Exhibit A, but
and
it's
she
not
started
Exhibit
a
A
court
to anything.
reporting business.
So it calls into question to me the credibility of the affidavit. It calls into question to me the credibility of her.
I'm not sure you
initial
can't sue
response
somebody or get
to the
anybody
process server.
if you weren't
The process
served
server
properly.
has no reason to lie. He doesn't have a dog in this fight. You know, she first testified that Mr. Bowden employs her, which, you know, he has enough knowledge to impart to his wife to tell her how to get out of these situations when she wants to. The affidavit of the process server is the highest and best evidence, obviously, until it's traversed, but that requires that the affidavit be traversed by the strongest and best evidence there is. Her affidavit simply states that she didn't live there, but she seems to be there on a regular basis, and the affidavit, the process server would never have put in his affidavit as he testified that she's
trying to get off on this on a technicality.
That she was a co-resident. To rule that to vacate the judgment based on a lie sets a bad precedent. And in Coombs versus Coblas, this court has the opportunity to weigh the credibility of the testimony in the affidavit.
That happens.
Versus the process server versus the witness. It indicates that when one person with a vested or possible vested interest in the case testifies and another person with no vested interest in the case testifies, and both are offered into evidence, the trial court has the opportunity to weigh the question of the credibility and determine which testimony and which affidavit may be more credible. And determine if
did you hear when she said
process server's affidavit is more credible
that she was
or
married
the affidavit offered into evidence
to the judge,
of a person
divorced
who
the
may
judge,
have ties
and now back
to
with the judge.
the
That's how
defendant.
she's
No,
getting.
to
That's
the
how she's
defendant.
getting around saying she doesn't live there.
In this instance, I would argue
They
that
were.
the
They've
process
been
server
together,
had no reason
apart,
to put in his
together,
affidavit
apart.
that she was a co-resident unless she
By the way, I
told
think
him
Troyalty
she was a
podcast
co-resident.
threw out some free
It's more
members.
than a year later. He recited his
hell
facts
yeah.
based on an investigatory report that was made 3 minutes after the time he reported his facts. Her affidavit is made 10 months, and she can barely remember what she said 10 minutes ago. I'm not saying she lies now. What I'm saying, I'm not saying that she's lying at all now. What I'm saying is that she has an interest based on her relationship to the defendants of possibly
What's Uncle Ben gonna say?
not telling the truth at the time that the service was made. And I'm saying that she may have been mistaken. I'm saying maybe she made a mistake in what she said, but my argument is that it sets a bad precedent to allow a judgment to be vacated based on a lie, because then anybody with a relationship to the defendants can lie and the defendants can benefit from saying. There's no allegation here that the defendants don't live at that address. This might be different if the defendant did not live at that address. She does. And there's no allegation that she doesn't. There's no allegation that this person doesn't know the defendant. She obviously does. She's sitting right next to her. There's no allegation that she wasn't present at the home at the time that the service was made. She was.
And the judge is hiding in the corner right now.
I would
Tell him
just
what to
simply
say.
say that this court has the opportunity to weigh the credibility of the affidavit.
I thought it's funny because they logged in as
and
judge.
that the credibility comes down to the
Uh-huh.
process
Yeah,
server versus somebody who has a vested interest. And it weighs in favor of the process server, Your Honor, and that the motion to vacate should be denied. Thank you.
You know, I am a little confused about something. I'm trying to, for several things in this case. Then Mr. Rushing, you obviously will get last word, but I have a question for Ms. Frank before she concludes, finally ends her argument.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, you know, I've looked at the docket in this case. You had the service, purported service that took place in July of 2021, July 8th, 2021. You had the motion for default judgment filed on October 1st, 2021. I'll just also state the motion for default judgment. Looking for the certificate of
So she wants a
service,
bunch of,
whether
I
or
mean,
not
this
one-
isn't her first rodeo. This lady's been dodging creditors and paying back money for a very long time, it seems. And her husband's a judge. He knows how to tell her
and
how
then you
to
have the
do it.
default judgment that was entered on October 7th, 2021. The court sent a copy of the default judgment to the defendant at 5010 Butner Road on October 4th, 2021, as is our standard practice. Even when a party's in default, we still notify them of the judgment. Interestingly, an answer was filed by Mr. Rushing and a counterclaim on October 21st, 2021, about a week after we put that order in the mail. But interestingly, the motion to vacate the judgment was not filed until April 11th of this year. I'm going to ask Ms. Frank about, do you have any, I don't know, do you know about this? And do you have any response to this very interesting procedural history?
Oh.
So yes, and yes. It's a pattern. And my brief talks about it. So there was a dispossessory action filed in Fulton County in September of 2020. And like I said, this was based on a commercial lease that Miss Bowden, AKA Daly, had with her LLC court reporter, that my client is a commercial landlord. And she was a tenant, didn't pay her rent. So we were trying to dispossess her out of the
she's getting a busy
building.
neck.
So Ms. Frank, let me just stop you there, because I don't want to get into any other lawsuits.
Yeah, no, it's just a little bit of history, and basically it shows the pattern as why the procedural history is important. So essentially what wound up happening, we dismissed the dispossessory because she left.
Make sure you like the video, guys.
After we dismissed, or the same day we dismissed the dispossessory, Mr. Rushing filed a notice of appearance. So it was kind of a nullity. Then we had another lawsuit that was based on a small promissory note in Fulton Magistrate Court. And basically we got a judgment, and after we got a judgment, they filed an answer and a motion to vacate based on fraud. And then but they didn't take advantage of their appellate practice. And when that motion to vacate was denied, like 6 months later, they filed a motion for reconsideration of that
professional
motion to vacate, which the magistrate
bill
court
dodgers.
didn't rule on.
They know how to
So
skip
didn't
out on the
appeal
bill
it
when
to
your
state
husband's
court
a
or
judge.
Superior Court or anything else. And they kind of did the same thing in this matter. They filed an untimely answer and counterclaim that in a closed case, essentially, after a judgment was entered, like 2 weeks after a judgment was entered. They didn't take advantage of any appellate procedures. And then 6 months later, they filed a motion to vacate. So I knew about the answer and counterclaim, but at that point, there's really nothing for me to respond to with respect to an answer and counterclaim. And then, once he filed the motion to vacate, all I can do at that point is just file.
It boils down to that this lady
there would be no reason
that
for
was
me
supposed to be
include anything with
served
respect to an answer and counterclaim, But all I can say is they obviously knew
Knows
about
the system.
the judgment
Knows how
in
to cheat the
October,
system.
and I can't speak as to why they wait 6 months to file a motion
And
to
because
vacate.
she knows how to
But
cheat
we
the
filed
system.
a garnishment in April, and
Shut-
that's why they filed the motion to.
Because she knows how to beat the system. She is able to know when she doesn't get the paperwork served directly to her, she can pull all this chicanery and try and get out of it. That's long story short.
Yeah.
She wants
Yeah,
this
and-
debt thrown out.
And this isn't the first time that they have went
numerous.
to court. That's what she's saying.
Numerous times.
Argument?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, here we go.
This,
And plus, they got money. Her husband's a judge.
This is a matter where, just from what you told me, I learned some stuff. But I don't think that, I think the motion to vacate should be granted because there's not a lot of clarity in how this process went. I really am quite convinced that Mr. Hightower did not pose the questions that he said and make a determination
Can you imagine
about
how this old lady talked to Mr. Hightower?
Mrs. Lowe living in.
What you doing here?
If she has another address,
It's
even though
motion
we
to
don't have her
vacate.
driver's
Is that
license
not
here,
for tenancy?
but she stayed in that
house.
That's concrete evidence that she stays someplace else. So we're going to make her be staying at this property while she has evidence that she lives someplace else. I think that's inappropriate, Your Honor.
Mr. Russian, why did you file this motion to vacate judgment? Why didn't you file this when you filed an answer? That's simply what I want. That's why I put this on for a hearing, because that boggled my mind. I did not understand that at all. Because that lets me know that you all knew about this case back in October. And it would have been a much easier burden for you to meet to vacate a judgment if you filed it at the same month that the judgment was entered versus 6, 7, 8 months later. So please tell me why you did that.
Yeah, I'm listening to the court and was not aware of what happened. I know what the court is saying. I've still got to research and find out exactly what happened because I'm not aware of what the court has just stated. Had I known about it, I'm sure I would have filed. But if I'd already filed an answer, why would a motion be granted for the default judgment?
No, sir. The answer was filed on October 21st, 2021.
Okay.
The default was granted on October 7th, 2021. You filed an answer 2 weeks after the default was granted. So that lets me know, and we hadn't talked about this at all. She
defaulted on the judgment.
That Ms. Lowe notified somebody about this lawsuit, or you all received our default judgment in the mail. Not you all, Ms. Bowden received our default judgment in the mail. Because otherwise, why would an answer get filed at that point? Or someone didn't file the answer in a timely fashion and knew about the lawsuit, at an appropriate time. But I don't understand any of that. And that creates a lot of issues for me as to
I think this might be the
whether
end
to
of the
grant
game.
this motion in your favor to vacate judgment.
I understand what the court's saying, but I
think there's 0.0 chance they're going to vacate this judgment.
think matters ought to be resolved on the merits.
By the way, I think the judge knew exactly what was going on through all this and just played a game.
I don't think that
that's what I think.
This case should be resolved.
She gave him every chance to clarify
with the default judgment.
And
but
she kind of played.
Court's,
I'm confused.
Prerogative about what the court chooses to do. I will, do whatever I can for my clients. That's all I can do.
Thank you for not answering the question.
Oh yeah, that's word salad right there, as much as
Nothing.
possible.
Okay.
It's awkward silence now.
He said nothing, just the nothing.
Anything else?
Yeah, she knew
Y'all,
that.
I have nothing else at this moment.
Nope, you made me look like an idiot though.
This is the moment. This would be it.
No, there's no more moments.
I-
She about
I
to
hear
rule,
what the
baby.
said. I don't have the production of any other evidence.
You can't
At
even
this
look at her
stage,
straight in the face through a computer, by the way.
But I think there's some evidence that should be considered in this matter. And I think the driver's license, Ms. Lowe, should be considered, even though we're saying I didn't get it in here on time.
One thing that he's got.
I think that evidence is going to be
Triple
clear
the doubt on it.
that she does not live at this address. And I think granting the default for something supposedly served on somebody that don't live at a particular location is just not appropriate. That's just my position on it.
Living across the finish line last.
And I'm going to review the law in this case, but I'm just going to tell you frankly what I think. I think that Ms. Lowe notified Ms. Bowden about this lawsuit, and I think either you neglected to file the answer in time, or Ms. Bowden did not act to do what she needed to do until after they received the default judgment in the mail. That's what I believe. However, the issue of whether or not the correct person was served, that is an issue. But at the purpose of the notorious service, if we think about it, is to make sure that the person who needs to be served receives notice. Ms. Bowden obviously received notice of the lawsuit back in October 21, or otherwise an answer would not have been filed. So it boggles my mind as to why we're trying to, well, it doesn't boggle my mind. I do know why, because of the garnishment being filed. That is what I see now, is the precipice as for this motion to vacate judgment. However, I will issue a written order based upon the law, and you all will then have sufficient time to, either side will have the sufficient time to challenge that in a court higher than myself. All right, that's all. You all are excused. Thank you very much for your cooperation.
She told us her
Have a good
judgment. We don't need to wait. She basically told us, "Hey,
yeah,
I'm done. This is BS." Whoa,
that was very, very confusing, but absolutely fascinating. And I think that a lot of you guys in the chat are absolutely right. That's not the last time that we see any of this. Let's jump in, just because I really like Mark's hair right next to you. He's got it going on. And also Attorney Brian has a hell of a view there.
Aubrey's hair and Mark's hair side by side, two beautiful hers.
Really, seriously, nice hair. All right, over to the court of Clark W. Griswold. And don't forget, after this, we'll jump over to something that happened earlier. And we got an update from Stephanie the other day that got hauled off by the narcotics cops. It looked like SWAT. If you remember her, we've got an update with what's going on with her. But man, what a way to start out today's We Got a Case. My God.
A real banger.
Meantime, we'll move on to Justin Thompson.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Right, is Mr. Daly?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm right here. I have my videos on deck. I also have my associate, Luke Derringer, who is standing in with me, but I'll be.
Your Honor, I'm on the streets of Manhattan.
As well as Mr. Thompson. How would you like to proceed today, counsel?
Well, first of all, Your Honor, I just want to say thank you for allowing us to appear by Zoom. My client and I both waive in-person appearance in favor of Zoom, and my P number is 39945. We believe that we're going to have to hold this exam. We believe that the prosecution cannot survive its burden of proving that our client was intoxicated, and therefore the charge has to fail. So we need to hold the exam, and we'd like a date to do that.
All right.
Justin Thompson, obvious kin to Bishop.
So we can do it either next week.
Liquor's never taught that man.
Do you have a preference?
Well, I cannot do it next week.
Okay. All right. Mr. Fenton, does that 2 weeks work for you?
Yeah, that's what I was going to request, Judge.
Okay. All right. So we will do that.
Your wish is granted.
Thompson, we almost always do them by Zoom. You have I said, Mr. Thompson, I'm sorry, really, we almost always do those by Zoom. Do you have any objections to that?
Very good.
Not at all, Your Honor.
Okay. All right.
I would say 2 o'clock on June 23rd.
All right. So this will be on June 23rd. We'll of course send out notice at 2 o'clock.
That sounds just fine, Judge. If I could ask the prosecution to notify me at least a week in advance, witnesses that they're bringing and share with me exhibits that
We
they're.
really need Erica just to light up a cigarette to get the
Well, I don't think
trifecta,
there's
you know,
any
the whole
kind of
breast
requirement
shot,
to
the
notify you.
ceiling fan in the
Feel free to
background.
call me. I have no objection to doing so.
Hello,
Informal.
Erica.
It's not a trial.
Wall.
It's just a prelim.
It's
Feel free to
good.
call me. I'll be happy to share that with you.
We'll do that. Mr. Geringer will be calling you.
That's fine.
Yeah, I can't figure out where that's at.
Yes,
May I mention one more thing?
sure.
It's a bit of a shameless plug and a bit off topic, but before you now stands my former associate, Mark Dundon, who was probably one of the finest, most prepared lawyers I ever had the pleasure of working with. There he is.
Hottest piece of ass this side of the Mississippi.
And he happens to hold a Sony gold record for some work that he did while a member of the, what was the name of the band, Mark?
The Electric Six. Come on, Spacely. We've got
Electric
business.
Six. Anyway, Judge,
Well, we will.
thank you for letting me
What's that
waste your
for-
time.
What's that? Well, that
I
didn't
said,
waste my
thank you for
time,
letting
though.
me waste your time.
I don't consider that a waste. Did he get that gold record for singing or for other performance?
Mark, as your lawyer, I advise you not to go into details.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Electric Six actually a fairly decent
Sometime
band.
when we're in person, I'll tell you a story about Mark and how I met him. It was, it's quite a story.
We were both nude.
Okay, well, you probably want to hear him sing, but we'll get to that.
You ever heard the word groupie, Your Honor?
Good luck, Mark.
Thanks.
We were enjoying, we met one night over a spit roast.
Yeah, I wanted a way to get that stuff out there. You know, it's important.
Right.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I do see Mr. Brown is back. Do you want to meet with Connor at this time, Mr. Brown?
Yes, please, Judge.
Do you want to have his mother present for that hearing or for that discussion?
I'd rather speak to him alone for right now.
Okay, and if you then come back and want him added, we can do that. So
Thank you.
Connor, in just a minute, you'll get that conversation with Mr. Brown.
Oh my goodness.
And in the meantime,
Oh,
the
Viva.
Thomas Gone matter.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm done. Justin Thompson.
Yes.
Okay,
you are.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
You should be in touch with your attorney, but there'll be a prelim in 2 weeks.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, Danny B, did you see that? I come back the phone.
London, we know you're here, of course, but
Yes.
I thought she had on Mickey years or many
He
years.
should be on the phone. He's always been able to
What's Matt got on
get
his
on
phone?
via his phone.
at him, I saw a phone.
Has he got the corporal tunnel?
I just
Mr.
spoke to
Gaunt.
him.
Sure, yeah. If you
So
available, do you see him, Ms. Parker?
just FYI, anybody who has ever been on one of my gambling streams will know exactly who the Electric Six is. Remember that slot machine, one of the biggest ones that we always play, Danger High Voltage? That's Electric Six.
And he got a gold record.
They're a really cool band. Because I remember back when that slot had come out a long time ago, I was like, damn, that's a catchy tune. I remember listening through a lot of their stuff. So that's actually pretty cool. It's a weird to flex that in a courtroom, but still, it's
Your Honor, that the issue with this case is, as the court's aware, there's no per se limit for marijuana. So I just want to see what the levels may or may not mean before I decide whether to hold an exam. Because
So
the
how
field
long of
sobriety
adjournment are you seeking?
a couple weeks, Your Honor, if possible, and
All right,
that'll be
Mr.
it.
Gaunt.
And we'll,
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I understand the difficulty, and certainly you need that conversation with your client. Mr. Gahn, is a 2-week adjournment agreeable to you?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Okay. See you on the 16th then at 1:30. We'll send out a notice.
I'll be
Yes,
there,
thank you, Your
bitch.
Honor.
And at that
Thank
point,
you,
hopefully
Honor.
we can have a decision on whether to go to prelim or to waive or proceed otherwise.
That we'll be able to do that for sure by then, Your Honor.
Okie dokie.
All right.
By the way, Mark Dundon also
I'll-
goes
I'll
by
submit
Frank
my rider
London
with the
Bonaventure.
backstage requirements for the prelim. Thank you, Your Honor.
Frank
All right. That's
Bonaventure.
fine. We'll look forward to that.
Have a nice day, Your Honor. No, stay, would you? Has Matt's iPhone gotten his ass beat recently?
His arm looks like it. What do you think DJ Rai did over
Thank
there?
you, Your Honor. Richard Truce on behalf of Mr. Hess.
All right. Is Mr. Hess here?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm right here.
All right.
Where?
Good.
On your camera.
How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, I've been in conversations with Mr. Hess on this. We would like to waive the preliminary exam, have it bound up to circuit court. We have some issues to address there, but those are for circuit.
Oh God, no! That was a total surprise. I was paying no attention.
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you authorize Mr. Truce to sign the waiver documents on your behalf?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The court will.
Man is at that other lady's house, and she looked much different last time. We've had that background before.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, we have.
We are all set on that matter today then, and we'll move on to the David
That-
Simpson.
So it's a
Yes,
request we call Matthew Yunker. He's informing me that he has to return to work.
Matt does look Officer Doofy.
Mr. Yunker, I assume that's you with the Matt's iPhone,
Yes.
okay? All right, give me just a minute, Mr. Truce, so I can,
All right.
all right.
I'll tell you what. After that, let's move on over to Judge Simpson's court. This is from earlier. I was cooking eggs, and
That's
this
code for
popped up.
meth, by the way.
Whichever. You take it as it is. Sloppy, don't make me sloppy, slimy eggs, as he said. So Stephanie, who we watched the other day, get hauled off by a man that looked very SWAT-like. As you'll see, Judge Simpson has taken a liking to her and really wants to get her help.
She needs it.
She needs it. Yeah. And they speak about that a little bit. God bless during this. So a pretty interesting follow-up. Thank God I was watching. I was able to grab it. And it should start here pretty soon. You did a lot of popping on and off today, but you had to call Mikey. I'm like, wait a minute, is that the? And then I said, shoot, if I would have just looked, her name's right on there. But it's kind of neat having a
repeat
follow-up.
customer. Yeah.
Because, it doesn't happen every day.
Did you look up her name to see her charges and stuff?
I didn't.
I think it's already unmuted. It should be popping out in a second for you. Okay.
All right, court does call the case of the People's State of Michigan versus Stephanie Wood.
We are ready in this matter, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elizabeth Andery, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney on behalf of the people.
Lauren Brown, Deputy Chief Public Defender, appearing with and on behalf of Ms. Woodall. Ms. Woodall, could you state your name for the record, please?
Stephanie Joy Woodall.
All right.
Your Honor,
Okay, what are we doing on this?
so what we'd like to do is also have Ms. Woodall get into the drug court. What I'm going to do is send out a referral for her. I'll send that to the court and a copy to Ms. Andery. This will be to Rhett Reyes 14B. So we ask for a 30-day, I mean, it's not a 30-day adjournment, but I'm
cleaned up.
Sentence me to rehab, something. Jail is not.
Ms. Woodall, hold on.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. You held your tongue longer than you did the other day when I saw you. So just hold on a minute, okay?
Okay.
We
We're in probable cause to June 30th. 2022, 9 a.m. Now, Ms. Woodall, if you didn't understand what Mr. Brown was trying to say, that's precisely where they're trying to get you to. Okay. So you're going to have to be patient as the process works through, because ultimately it's going to get there. And patience is not your strongest suit. Okay.
You would be correct.
Okay. So every time you're going to get here, you're going to try to be yelling at me and all of that stuff. That's fine. I'm
not trying to yell at you.
Yeah, I know you're not. I really do know you're not. But you sometimes get frustrated. And so if you need a translation of what's happening or perspective on it, you can just ask. You can ask me, you can ask Mr. Brown, you can ask any of your attorneys. They'll be able to give it to you. At some point, they'll explain that whole thing to you, okay?
Can I get a bond at least?
No.
Tell you what. Ms. Woodall?
I said, can I get a bond at least?
No, I heard you.
Ms. Woodall, remember what we said we weren't going to do yesterday? Remember that conversation we had about what we weren't going to do? You remember that, right?
Yes.
Okay. She wouldn't, if it was yesterday, she's not going to remember. She's going to come here and try to do her own thing. Look, I'm sorry. Ms. Woodall.
Yep.
Let me tell you this. And while we do have a lot of video capability, as I look at you and I'm talking to you today, I wish I could bring up a video of the day that I took you into custody. Because I think
you could too, because I was out of my mind.
Yes,
right here.
You were. That was assuming there was a mind there at all to be out of. Okay.
There wasn't.
You were in a bad way.
I was.
Okay. And then when you came back that next day, you're still kind of in a bad way. And now look at you today. This is the third time. And Ms. Woodall, I like what I see. I think it can get better. Okay. But if you think, and I don't know that we've really dealt with each other, but I can be a pretty stubborn guy. So even if you think that you're going to try to convince me or sweet talk me into letting you out without all the guardrails in place to let you go back to the first person I saw, it's not going to happen.
That's not what I think. That's not what I think.
She wants one more blast before she goes
I
rehab.
think I'm getting out today and everything's cool. That's not what I think.
So, Ms. Woodall, I'm going to refresh your memory once again with what we talked about yesterday, right? You remember that, right?
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
All right. Let's do that.
Go before.
What day did you? What
the
day?
30th. The 30th.
June 30th.
Okay.
What day is it today?
Today is the 9th.
Tell you.
That's 3 weeks. Remember what we talked about.
Ms. Woodall, you can do it.
All right.
You got through how many months sobriety before that last episode?
1 year. Yeah.
Yeah. You got through 1 year sobriety, and that I know was hard. These next days are going to be a cakewalk. Okay?
Not, but
no, it will be. You know what? You have to quit contradicting.
I work a little bit harder every time. I work harder every time. You know what? The 1 year is the longest I've ever had in my life.
That's sad, but it is an accomplishment.
And then that makes it even difficult when you fell off. But okay, Ms. Woodall.
That is the feeling.
You can blame me for everything in the world. I got big shoulders.
I'm not blaming you.
No, just listen. Just listen. You can blame me for everything in the world. So in your mind, when you get that thought that I may get a bond rate, it's not happening. Okay? We're going to get you into treatment. We're going to get you back on track and let you be the pleasant person that I'm seeing today.
All right. Okay. Okay.
All right. And we'll continue. Okay.
Very good, Ms. Woodall.
Take care.
Very good. All right. Take care.
She did all right. She's just Miss Woodall.
Do I hit leave?
Yep, bye.
Your Honor, I'm going to go back to my acceptance speech for the Toshio Feaster Citizen of the Year Award now, please.
Yeah. Okay. It should be real short. All right. We're not ready for anyone else. All right. We'll wait for the next person.
So I have a feeling that that attorney is pretty good friends with the judge. I think that's why I think he's doing that on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to know this though. There's lots of very deserving people that come through his court that I'm sure could help, could use a little bit of extra help. I want to know why her. You know what I mean?
I think
Like,
it's just
why-
one of those things where you take a liking to somebody. You know,
think so?
You kind of like, okay, I feel like. I mean, I see that and I understand it. Where you're like, okay, this person needs a hand and they can do something with it. I mean, some people you would love to help, and you know, at the end of the day, they're not ready.
Mhm.
Maybe, you know, he felt like, hey, you know, this person deserves a chance. I've, you know, it just happens. You get that feeling
Yeah.
about somebody.
I'm wondering. I really am. I'm wondering if it's just that, or I don't know, or they had some. Anyways, I tried to do a little bit of search, and I didn't get any I didn't get any information. So that was the docket from today. There she is. That was scheduled for the probable cause. Did you guys remember? Can somebody put it? I'm terrible at this. Put it in there. Put it down there. 9 a.m. June 30th. 9 a.m. June 30th. I'm pretty sure is what he said. God bless him. And I think he's keeping her there.
Oh yeah,
until
can't
then.
let her out. Can't let her out.
No, and that's what he was trying to explain to her, is that not until all the parameters are in place that you can't be out doing anything bad. Anyways, over to the double dirty door courtroom where we always get some greatness. Is that one of those giant polar pop where, you know, that you get from the 7-Eleven or
Like the
Circle K?
truckers have, you know.
Yeah, it is. Okay. All right. That's
bucket o' drink. By the way, the guy in the yellow shirt has scratched himself, I think, everywhere. I've been watching him. He's just scratching around, digging around.
in the yellow.
He's scratching his
here?
leg right now. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Okay. You okay? Do you want me to hold you like a baby?
Let's check his teeth.
We wouldn't have the audience doing it today.
The guy in the back thought something was funny. He just stood up and started laughing.
Do you have a pad on that? I gave him a couple. Okay.
Do you have a pad on? Are you on your woman?
Or do you use it to
Devin Matthews to the stand.
Devin, if you could stop right about there and face our clerk, and she will administer the oath, please.
Oh, bringing in a witness, Your Honor.
Don't have any witnesses over here. I like that.
No, never. Have I-
Please join us on the witness
No,
stand,
I
Mr.
don't-
Matthews, and speak into the microphone.
You found the microphone.
Will you please state and spell your name for the record?
Devin Matthews, DevinMatthews.
And I would like to talk to you about September 24th, 2018, approximately 7:30 in the morning. Where were you on that day at the time?
Eastern, I think.
In bed.
Okay, where did you live?
Poinsettia.
Okay. Is that 3701 Poinsettia?
Yeah.
It is out in Stanislaus County.
Yes.
Do you know John Passo?
Or meth.
Do you see him in court today?
I do.
Can you please identify where he's sitting in article of clothing?
Right there, yellow shirt, yellow button up.
Shout out to my
Also,
homie.
for the record.
Okay. So you were in bed on September 24th at approximately 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing over the weekend?
I don't remember.
Meth.
A lot of drugs.
Woke you up on September 24th, 2018?
I was liquored up.
Pounding on the
My
front
fudge.
door and my aunt. saying they're here.
Okay. What did you do
They're
with that?
here.
Off to a good
What?
start.
Jumped up, I guess, right when I woke up was about the time the door came in.
Okay. When you say the door, are you referring to the front door?
Yes.
Okay. And when you say the door came in, what do you mean?
I mean, it was knocked off. The
Hinges?
It was busted. It broke the frame.
Okay, and did you see who broke the frame of the door?
John and some male I never met or seen in my life.
How many people were on the other side of the door?
Nixon Foundation.
Two.
Maybe.
Hold on, in terms of who you could see, or
Who could you see on the other side of the door?
I saw two people.
And is that in addition to John Paso and Dominic?
I remember seeing first John.
Unresponsive.
go.
Let's go,
dude. I only remember seeing John and the other man, whoever he was.
When you say the other man,
Great.
Is Johnny
the other
Depp on the
person?
stand? I
No.
mean,
What did he look like?
Tall, bigger dude. I don't really remember.
tall, bigger dude.
Did they make entry into the house?
They didn't.
And
That's what it
see
says.
what happened when they entered the house?
I did not. I was concerned with where my mother had gone.
After these people entered the house, what did you do?
Went to go find wherever my mom had went.
And did you find her?
I was informed that she had already made it out the house by my aunt.
Okay, so and what did you do?
This guy's voice.
I went outside through the front door
Hey, Mom!
and
Meatloaf!
dove underneath the garage as it was opening to make sure that my mom
Like a movie,
got out okay.
you know, Indiana Jones slides under there.
And then she got out of the driveway, and there was another car that had stopped behind her and kept her from going any further.
Wow.
And
I'm going to stop you for a sec. When you said another car stopped behind her, what did the car look like?
I don't remember. It was black or blue sedan.
And then what happened?
And then I tackled John coming through.
John who? John Cena?
Are you sure about that?
Garage door. And when I thought my mom had gotten away, I had let him go. But there was somebody keeping her from going anywhere. There's somebody keeping her from leaving.
And why did you tackle John?
To make sure that my mom got away.
And when you said that someone was keeping her there, who do you mean?
Whoever was driving the other car.
And is that the black car?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Bueller.
okay. Video. And part of this incident was recorded.
If I'm not mistaken, he said John and a bigger guy busted in the door.
Yeah.
Part of the incident that day.
Yes.
And did you review?
Yes.
With your signature? Did you have opportunity to review the transcript?
Yes.
And is that your initial?
He is
look at
pretty
the
big.
transcript?
Mr. Matthews, instead of saying, would you answer yes or no, please? Because our court reporter has to write it down.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good.
Okay.
Now, as I was saying, drugs are bad. You shouldn't do drugs. If you do them, you're bad because drugs are bad. Okay, it's a bad thing to do drugs, so don't be bad by doing drugs. Okay, that'd be bad. Drugs are bad.
It's a way bigger guy.
I'm the dude. And I'll note the prior objection to these, this document and video.
Yeah, the people have these markers, people's exhibit 3A. This is the transcript. This is the transcript you reviewed this morning. And this is People's Exhibit 3. Is this the video that you had opportunity to review? And are both of these true and accurate? Or request to move into evidence People's Exhibit 3 and People's Exhibit 3A.
Submitted. Okay, 3 and 3A submitted or received, excuse me.
Permission to publish the video?
Yes.
Who's the
Please,
guy
when
in
you get
the
a transcript
gray
of the audio.
Got a
as
video?
well, there will be Exhibit 3A.
Who the guy in the gray suit?
Got his hair pulled back.
Yeah. Pretty smooth. Will we get to see the video?
Oh, I hope so.
Is
God, I
the
hope so.
technology there?
I don't know. This courtroom,
It's the old double dirty. I wouldn't think.
Somebody had asked them they clean their chairs. No, look at the backs of them. They're all just as black as the door.
Oh.
They all seem discolored. And if you notice, the ones all the way against the wall actually look a lot cleaner than the ones that are used a lot, in the middle.
You can tell which ones are the ones that everybody getting much use out of. Yeah, well, this is me rolling under the garage door.
I would love to see it.
Check the skills.
Will we be able to see? Will this guy exit through that door? I hope. I want to see what this dude looks like.
Oh, he looks like a stoner. He's got like a poofy hair and everything.
Oh, did you see him walk in? I didn't even know.
Yeah. He walked in with the
the
attorney.
Before, please don't get dizzy. You'll see what happens when the camera turns a couple directions. So,
oh, they're going to turn the camera for us? Or is he talking about the video? Nope, they're watching the damn. God, yeah. I'll be RP.
Oh, yeah. At least turn it up so we can hear it. Look at these two ladies. Look at the two women. Let's listen.
John! John!
Okay, so was that the car taking off with the mom in it? Him hollering.
The action speaks for itself.
overall,
Speaks for itself. It didn't say much. Is he upset? Is he crying? He's broke up.
Once things escalated to that point, that's what I thought to do. Record what was happening.
Okay. Now, in the video that we just watched, there was a person inside the car. Was that you in the video yelling, John?
Yeah.
And was John the person that's depicted in the video inside the car?
Yes.
And in the beginning of the video, there's a noise and someone hitting the window of the car.
Oh,
Do you know who that was?
John.
That was John?
Yeah.
Was there anybody else hitting the car?
No.
Okay. Now, you are outside in the video.
50.
What happened after John grabbed Jace? Do you know what happened after John grabbed Jace?
He was put into the other car with some strangers.
When you say other car, is that the black car that you're referring to
Yeah.
earlier?
Yeah.
Who put him in that car?
After someone, John was the one that actually got him out of the car, whoever it was on the other side, some woman or I don't remember.
Okay.
But he came out the driver's side door. He didn't come out of the passenger side door.
Are you referring
Talking
to
about
Jace?
Jace,
Jace came
yes.
out of the driver's side door?
Yes.
Is that where Kimberly was sitting?
Yes.
Do you know if was Jace pulled from the window or from the door?
He was pulled from the door.
Okay. What happened next?
He was put into the car. I made an attempt to some kind of attempt. And then John and Dom left in the other car.
So they put the mom in the car. So they kidnapped his mom. They kicked into so two men, one being John, guy in yellow shirt, kicks in the front door. They take off running. He does an awesome roll into the garage. Mom gets taken into a car and speeds away. Is that what I'm getting? I mean, if I'm misunderstanding, somebody please clarify for me.
Did you do anything when the black car fled the scene?
I ran alongside it and then fell.
Why were you running alongside the black car?
A last attempt to try and do something.
What were you trying to do?
Keep my brother from leaving.
Yeah, I think you're right. He was trying to get her out of it. That was his main priority, is get her out of there.
Did anybody in that car push you?
No. I was
there's
kept from getting inside.
Action non-responsive.
Next question, please.
Were you able to get inside the car?
No.
Why not?
Someone was keeping me from getting inside the car.
How so?
Pushing me out of the door and holding it closed.
And was that, which door was that of the car?
It was the back driver's side door.
I think they were trying to get her out of it.
Where Jace was inside the car?
I don't remember.
I'm going to approach you with.
I'm guessing he was attacking him as he was trying to get in the car and leave.
Identification. I am showing the photos to defense counsel.
We all do.
Are those nudes? Yeah, take these papers. I've got them all disorganized now. Take them.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
I just saw Licking County for 4 seconds.
People's Exhibit 4. Do you recognize
Good
this
start.
photo?
Yeah.
What is that photo?
A picture of my hands after falling.
Is that photo on the day of the incident, September 24th?
Yeah.
Is that a true and accurate
He sounds like
photo
he's been
of
crying on the stand, by the way.
Mhm.
So if you could answer yes or no, please.
Is that his real?
Yes. Sorry.
And then I'm showing the People's Exhibit 5. Do you know what this photo is?
Yeah. My foot.
Okay, and what does it reflect?
Injuries to my foot that I sustained running alongside the car.
Okay, is that a true and accurate picture of what your foot looked like on the day of the incident?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you what's on the mark. It's Exhibit 6. Do you recognize this photo?
Yeah.
What's that photo?
Of my knees afterwards.
And, did you
So he
injure your
sustained
knees?
some injuries, I'm guessing,
Primary
from
injuries
the fall.
depicted in that photo?
They are.
And is that a true and accurate picture of what your knees look like on the day of the incident?
Yes.
To show you what's been pre-marked as People's Exhibit 7. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
And what is this photo?
Of my back afterwards.
And did you sustain injuries to your back?
I did.
And how did you sustain those injuries?
Falling alongside the car.
Is that a true and accurate picture of your injuries on the day of the incident?
Yes.
Show you it's been marked as People's Exhibit 8. You recognize this photo?
Yes.
So
What is this photo?
My forearm after
And how did you, is there injuries on your forearm?
there is
How did you sustain those injuries?
it's coming after
falling
him.
alongside the car.
Mr. Matthews, can you speak up a little bit? I'm having a hard time hearing.
There
I know
he
other
is.
kids are as well, but
Trying to do a show over here. Speak
ask
up.
the question what Exhibit 8 shows, please.
Yes. I'm showing you what's People's Exhibit 8. Do you recognize
That's no
that
better,
photo?
by the way.
I do.
And what is that photo?
A picture of my forearm after falling alongside the car.
And do you have injuries to your forearm?
I do.
And is that true and accurate picture of your injuries on September 24th, 2018?
It is.
Showing what's been marked as People's Exhibit 10. Do you recognize this photo?
I do.
What is that photo?
That is Dominic's car.
That is piss bag boy. That's who it is.
When
I can see.
John and Dominic took off in.
And is that when you say they took off in, do you refer to September 24th, 2018?
Yes.
And is that the vehicle that John and Dominic fled in?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as
Dirk gives that door
Exhibit
character.
9. Do you recognize this photo?
That is the first time seeing that car.
Okay.
Like, actually, I didn't even know it was a Ford.
You didn't know this.
I didn't know it was a Ford.
But do you recognize that vehicle?
Yeah.
How
Do you
that
recognize
vehicle?
this photo?
That's, I'm assuming, the one that took.
It's a bear.
It's just speculation.
It's a
I don't
dog.
recognize
That's
We
the
don't
issue.
know.
You do not recognize it?
I do not.
Okay.
Nothing like a nice glass of lemonade on a hot day. Lemonade, the cool.
I was so confused yesterday. There's a picture of a Charlotte Hornets
That
star with pink lemonade,
incident inside in the house.
and it was all
Were
over
you-
the internet.
Were you inside the house when people made entry?
But he had a joint
Yes.
on his hand
Yes.
while he sold the
You
lemonade.
what these people did when they made entry into the house?
Dixon compound.
Stan, if you could break it down.
Brittany, I love that.
What if anything did you see when these people made entry?
Got it.
I didn't see anything after they made entry. John took off down the hallway, and the first thing I did was run outside.
God bless.
Mr. Janssen, cross-examination.
Yes.
Can we please
Good
find
morning,
out
sir. I just have a few questions for
why
you.
John
okay? You woke up by hearing sounds on September 24, 2018, correct?
Yes.
And then you ran down to the front door, correct?
Yes.
And shortly after you ran down to the front door, it swung open, correct?
Yes.
And then several people came into the residence, correct?
Yes.
And John ran by you down the hallway, correct?
Yes.
And then sometime later, you saw John in the garage, correct?
Yes.
And then you confronted him, correct?
Yes.
And you held him away for a while, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Smollett, can you redirect?
His
Yes,
questions were nothing.
Those are terrible questions.
Actually, I withdraw. No additional
Didn't you think
questions.
that he was going to
And
blast
this
a hole
witness
in
be
that whole
excused subject to
timeline?
recall.
Yeah, he just
Or
basically
something?
Mr. Matthews, you're excused. You may be recalled, so please don't.
double
discuss the case with
verified what
anyone
he'd already said.
Or review any YouTube proceedings or any news articles if there are any. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You'll be contacted.
All right, you should see him walk out.
People's Exhibit 4, 5, 6.
Oh my
7,
God. No, that's
8,
not him, is it?
That's not him. No.
And 10 into evidence.
That
That's
couldn't
the
be.
name.
There he
Okay.
is.
Submitted with the
All
previous
right.
comment.
Sideshow Bob.
4 through
I thought it was
4
Eric
through
Andre.
8 and
Oh, yes,
and are
okay, yeah.
received as a full-time. It's not at this time.
The people also request to move into evidence, People's Exhibit 3 and People's Exhibit 3A.
Boy, she's coming in hot and heavy with some.
I think we
substantial
already received
evidence
those.
here.
Those have been received.
I love that. His questions were the same thing she asked them.
I was getting ready for him to. I was getting ready for him to say something about what was wrong about that.
Yeah,
whole
you
thing,
said
and then-
here, blah blah blah.
Great, now she's just leaving.
She's
She's
done
like, this
one. She
dude's a
feels like,
moron. I don't even need to do anything else. I've already won.
oh, here comes another witness. Dun,
Oh,
dun,
no.
dun, dun.
The people called Darren Matthews to the stand.
Come on, Darren,
Matthews,
bring
you
it
can come
on,
about
baby.
halfway up and then face our clerk, and she'll administer the oath. Please.
What is it talking about? I didn't hear it. That door's discussing something. I can hear it.
Morning. So if you could just scoot up to the microphone and speak into the microphone. Thank you.
I have found these two dudes are related.
Jaron, Jaron Matthews,
Jaron?
Matthews.
Jaron.
Darren, I'd like to talk to you about September 24th, 2018. Where did you live at that time?
3701 Poinsettia.
And is that in Stanislaus County?
Yes.
He's a little more aware.
And do you know John Classo?
Yes, I do.
Do you see him in court today?
Yes, I do.
Can you please identify where he's sitting in an article of clothing?
He's wearing a yellow dress shirt all the way to the right.
Mr. Casso has been identified for the record.
That ball his some bitch right there.
Early morning hours, approximately 7:30. Where were you at that time?
I was asleep
Where?
in my room, in bed.
At your house?
Yes.
Was that in 3701 Poinsettia?
Yes, ma'am.
What woke you up?
Loud pounding.
Okay. What did you do after you heard this loud pounding?
I rushed straight to the door to hold it shut.
Okay. You heard loud pounding. Was it coming from the door?
Yes.
Is that the front door?
The front door, correct.
Okay. And why were you holding the door shut?
Because I had already known just from just the past in a way. So I was already mentally prepared and I heard multiple knocks. It was obvious what was happening. So my first instinct was to hold the door shut and it bust open as soon as I got to the door.
When you say you're mentally prepared, can you expand on that?
As
Nixon
in,
relevance 352.
Hello, Donna.
Donna, everybody.
Look, Mikey and I look forward to coming down to your place once we get all the details.
this isn't as in like, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. So you started to hold the door shut because there was pounding on this other side of it?
Yes.
Was there people on the other side of the door?
Nixon Foundation.
Yes, there was.
Overall.
Did those people make entry into the house?
Yes, they did.
How did they make entry into the house?
It was about at least two, because the first person I tried to hold back, I knew was him.
When you say him, who do you mean?
John. I tried to push him back and instantly I felt pepper spray hit me in the face and I instantly just ran back.
Yeah, pepper spray.
Did you see who pepper sprayed you?
I did not.
Okay. And after you're pepper sprayed, what happened?
I ran to the living room and just kind of like what the heck is going on? Just kind of had to clear my head
Started
and
crying.
everything. And then that's when I kind of like just cleared it out. And it's just all adrenaline because it's crazy just to think I was pepper sprayed and just ignored it. And I went to go see what was going on, see what was actually happening. And I see him walking through the house.
Narrative.
So stay in. Next question, please.
Yes, I'm going to ask you another question. After you were pepper sprayed, did you see after you're pepper sprayed?
I was able to, yeah.
Okay.
Afterwards, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Did you see what was going on in the house after you were pepper sprayed?
Yes.
What was going on in the house?
I seen him walking through I seen John walking through looking for Jace. And I still was trying to getting all my senses back as to what was even going on.
Okay, did you see anybody else inside the house?
No.
Was
A little
John
early to get
saying anything when
maced
he
at
was inside
7:30
the
in the
house?
morning.
Yeah, 7:30 a.m.
Not that I recall, no.
Did you see the people who came in through the front door other than John?
No, I didn't.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
He's a big guy.
Nope.
He had a head the size of Alaska. He's walking around the house just stealing
What
cell
happened
phone.
after you saw John walking through the house?
So I see him walking through the house and he makes his way into the garage. And me and my brother, we follow him into there. And I see the garage is open and I see where my mom's car is in the driveway. And I see like stuff that I could only
California.
I'd only imagine I would see in a dream. Like it felt like a bad nightmare in a way.
Okay, what was that?
I see them banging on her windows, and then I see him grab a toolbox and he starts banging on the passenger window because she's on the front just trying to keep the kids safe. And
Was there anybody else around the car?
yeah,
Did you see what they were doing?
they're just trying to help. Like, but I only really saw his son
When you
because I didn't even really know anybody else.
Let me just rewind, go back a little bit. When you say they're just trying to help, are they trying to help John?
Yes,
Okay. What was John doing?
he was on the passenger side window with the toolbox and broke the window. And
Did you see what he did after he broke the window?
no, because at that point I was inside, as you had seen.
It's a non-responsive.
Not responsive. We just answered the question.
Yeah.
What did you do after you saw John break the window?
I didn't see him break the window, but I went inside. I grabbed the camera phone to record, and as I go outside, the window was already broke, and he was in there, and
Say he was in there. Where was he?
he was inside the passenger seat, like reaching over in the passenger side, reaching over to the front seat, trying to get my little brother out of my mother's arms.
Did you
Oh,
see
wow.
anybody else at this time?
Not that I remember, no. I was just so focused on who I knew, what he was there for.
What'd you do after you saw John trying to take your little brother?
At that point, I ran to the side and I tried to pull him out from the passenger side.
When you say you tried to pull him, who do you mean?
John.
Okay.
And his son Dominic says, "Hey," and tries to like fight with me in a way because he saw me getting on his dad because I'm trying to pull him off from my mom. And then I look towards Dom, his son, to like back up, like, you see what's going on. This is not right. Like, I'm trying to help my mom. And then by that time, it's just all happening so fast. By that time, they already had Jace. I didn't see that part, but I run to another car and they already have Jace in the back seat of a random stranger's car.
You notice all of her kids' names start with J.
I couldn't. I was at that point. The pepper spray was all in my eyes, and I couldn't do much at all.
I'm gonna approach you with.
Well, we got 2 seconds. There's the house, by the way, on Poinsettia. I had to cross check. It's in Modesto. Nice house.
Yeah, very nice.
Not quite worth $508,000, by the way.
Good Lord.
Look at this estimate. $508,000. It sold for $469 on 10/29/21.
How many square feet is it?
Great question. I'll tell you.
1,828.
See the pepper spray.
Yeah, 4-bedroom, 2-bath.
Okay, is that a photo of you on?
Basically size of my house.
2018?
Yes.
And does that photo depict injuries?
Yes.
What are the injuries depicted in that photo?
Pepper spray.
Where were you pepper sprayed?
I was pepper sprayed. I don't know how far, but when it happened, I instantly felt it hit my eyes. But then towards the end, when the police came, I felt like it was on the forehead. Like I felt it just dripping down. Even it just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
Is that a true and accurate picture of you on the day of the incident?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's marked People's Exhibit 12. Do you recognize this photo? Can you explain what that photo is?
Same thing. The officer had me remove my glasses to take the picture. The pepper spray.
Injured in
You
that
need to do
picture?
better about these.
Pepper spray, correct. Yes, I am.
Is that a true depiction, true and accurate depiction of your injuries on the day of September 24th?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna show you what's been marked as People's Exhibit 13.
Better about what?
You recognize this photo?
About showing
Yes, I
anything.
do.
They're not showing any
What is that photo?
videos or
A
pictures.
photo of me with my shirt off.
Okay.
Oh,
come on, baby.
September 24th.
Yes.
Hey now.
Gonna show you one last photo, People's Exhibit 14. Do you recognize this photo?
Yes, I do.
And what is this photo?
Same thing. A photo of me after I had been pepper sprayed.
Is that photo show true and accurate depiction of injuries from pepper spray?
Yes, it does.
People request to move in People's Exhibit 11 through 14 into evidence.
Submitted.
Okay, Exhibits 11 through and including 14 are received.
You stated you didn't see the car, the black car flee with Jace.
I saw it flee off. Yes, I did. But I didn't. I wasn't able to interact, like stop Jace from being put in there.
What did you observe when the black car was fleeing the scene?
I saw it just took off and I saw my brother chase after it, and he tumbled on the ground as he was trying to grab the door handle.
Okay, and did you see where John went?
I do not. That part was a blur. I don't.
No further questions.
Ms. Johnson, cross-examination?
Yes, very briefly. Good morning, sir.
I know you were upset, Creed.
At
So
some
here's
point
the
in
picture of
time,
him with his
John
shirt
came
off.
into the house on September 24th, correct?
Yes.
And when he came in, he was
Thank you,
walking
court
around
reporter.
looking for Jace. Is that correct?
Nipples are awfully high. He's a high-nipped
Hang it up,
gentleman.
brother.
He is.
Anything further from this witness?
No further questions from this witness.
And subject to recall?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay, so
Mr. Matthews,
it all
you're
makes more
excused now.
sense.
You may be called back, so please don't discuss your testimony with anyone.
He went there, John, to steal away the child that he had with this guy's mother. And
Chet
that's-
figured it out.
Yeah.
They were
that's
right.
how it was going on. He did say brother while
Yep.
ago.
You guys were very right. Paula, 2 times the 500 stars, by the way. That's 10 boners. Paula, thank you so much. Guys, that's going to be it for us. So we're
I'm
going
gonna drop the link to that courtroom in case anybody wants to check it out later.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, what a day on We Got a Case. One thing that I love and hate about We Got a Case is the fact that we're grabbing live things. Like, we do so much live on here. You guys got to understand, it's always in a much better mood when we get some good live court out of it, because we don't know. The way that you're supposed to probably be doing this is you go through and find stuff from yesterday that was fun and exciting, and you play the videos. But it's so much more fun catching this stuff live, and we're pretty lucky today. We got some good stuff today.
And a lot of the stuff too doesn't stay around. It's when it's over, it's gone. It's history. It's never seen again.
That's why I was hurrying so much today to try to grab that update from Stephanie there, because once that's gone, it's gone. Yeah, a lot of these don't save. Just when they're live, but yeah, anyways, Mikey dropped the link to everybody, and wherever you're watching at across all the different platforms, it is there. And yeah.
All right. So don't forget, we got Thirsty Thursday coming up. All drinking and drunken today on We Gotta Chase. We got some pretty good ones for you. Some of them are hilarious, and some of them are just downright sad, Creed.
Oh, good. I look forward to that.
Creed enjoys a good sad day.
Judge David D. Wolf, criminal dockets. We've been to his. We've seen. We watched. The other day there was an internet psychic who fell off a fire tower. Okay, that would have been a good one.
That sounds like a beaut of a case. First thing I'd have said was, how did you not know this was going to happen?
Also, don't forget, guys, tomorrow, Florida Friday on We Got a Chase, presented by Larry, we should say. And then we've got members only. And I want to mention that because we got some new members from today. So appreciate that. The gift of membership that just keeps.
Yeah, I think we're at 300 and like 23 members.
Hell yeah. Boy, we don't we feel like assholes because we don't give you much for that. We have fun at members only, but my God, you guys are too good to us. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And that's tomorrow again, 6 o'clock East. We'll be back 4:05 for Thirsty Thursday.
Yep.
We got it, Chase. Thank you guys so much. Oh, and if you missed it, because kind of early for a lot of you, we did a Voyage today, which is kind of fun. That's on the channel if you want to go back and watch that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. We'll see you here a little over an hour and 25-ish, something like that.
Yeah, what Creed just said. Make sure you like this video if you haven't done so already. If you haven't subscribed to our case-only YouTube channel called We Got a Case, get over there and subscribe now with notifications on. Let's build that channel together so it can become the next We Got a Chase channel.
I was just thinking, I wonder, because there's the courtroom that we were just in, there are multiples of that basically same courtroom. We're a lot less dirty in others. Do you think that the reasoning why he had court in that courtroom is because it's the dirtiest out of all of them?
They said if it's piss bag bus, we don't care.
Right.
It wouldn't be the first time somebody's pissed on the floor in this courtroom.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
See you guys soon.
See ya. Until next time, please be good to each other and that kind of stuff. Remember too.
Yeah, what is that YouTubers are supposed to say? Be nice to each other.
Yeah.
Remember, it's all positive.
Yeah. Keep one hand on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.